Welcome to another craft at the Earlville Library for summer 2026. Today, we'll show you how to make this super easy painting that looks like it took a lot more effort than it did so that you can have something fun to display for summer. Here's a list of the supplies that comes in your kit, or it's a reference if you want to make this project again in the future. The first thing I do is take the glue, which is actually a temporary glue, and paint the glue onto the back of the Hello Summer stencil. Paint the whole phrase and then set it aside to dry. Once it's dry, you'll see it's still kind of shiny on the back, and it's definitely tacky if you touch it, but it's not wet anymore. And now you can use it like a sticker and place it on your canvas wherever you want your phrase to appear. You don't have to put it in the bottom left corner like I did, but place it somewhere wherever you want it to be the relief when the project is done. Now we're going to lay down some paint. So go ahead and set your canvas on something that can get messy and grab the white paint. And follow the position, the placement of the paint that I have in this example. And I use the knife to just kind of spread a thick glob line of paint periodically down the canvas. So I've got 4 stripes, we'll say, of paint on the canvas now. And you can go a little lighter on the paint than I did. It took mine a really long time to dry, which kind of affects that stencil we created. So do a little less paint, but you want enough paint so that it stays wet while you're working. And then put the light blue in between those white stripes, just like I'm doing. Just pour it on there in those kind of thick stripes. And that's the sky. Wipe off your knife in between, and we'll move on to the grass. So light green in a couple stripes, go right over top of your stencil. That's gonna keep the paint from sinking underneath it. And then grab the dark green, and in those spaces left over, you can pour some dark green. Like I said, don't use quite as much paint as I did. You can see it's gonna be just a little bit too thick. Use the foam brush in X strokes to start working from the top left to the right, back and forth, blending those colors, but leaving them kind of messy, not blending them so that they make a new color, blending the 2 colors so that they look together. Keep moving down the canvas, but don't retrace your steps. Once you have reached that bottom half of the canvas, you gotta let it be. You can't go back up and do more sky, or you'll drag the green up there. Then grab the scratchy side of the sponge and tap up and down across the whole canvas, starting again in the same pattern, top right or top left, across and down, and don't retrace any steps. Once you have hit a new color, you just gotta keep moving forward. So do the whole canvas so that it's blended like this. And this looks like a nice painting that we spent a lot of time on, that we really didn't. Use the knife in strokes from the bottom to the middle to create sort of some background grass looking things. And you can do this as much or as little as you like. Now you're going to want to make sure that the canvas is completely dry before moving on to the next step. Use some of your leftover dark green paint and the foam brush just on the edge to draw in some bigger stems, bigger grass portions from the bottom to the mid portion of the frame. Once you've finished your stems and they've had a little bit of a time to dry, use the Q-tip and the purple paint to press triangular bundles of dots along the tops of some of the stems to make little lavender flowers. Once again, let everything completely dry, and then I used a little craft knife to start peeling off that Hello Summer stencil. Now you can use some of your leftover white paint and the small detail brush that was included in your kit to trace over the Hello Summer revealed canvas from the stencil and clean it up. Then all you have left to do is set it aside for one final dry, and your project is complete. Thanks for spending another summer crafting with us at the Earlville Library, and we hope to see you again soon. Remember, we'd love to see pictures of your finished projects if you want to email them to us at earlvillelibrary@yahoo.com.